everyone, this is CricketSong with Lunar Wisdom, and today's video is going to be discussing ritual clothing. And the reason why I'm discussing this topic today is because I received a message from a viewer subscriber reading, "Is it okay to wear t-shirt, jeans, and sneakers for ritual?" Now, before I answer this question, I want you to understand that this is my perspective on ritual clothing. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it the one way or the only way or the true way. It's just my particular ideas and thoughts on ritual clothing. Now, I want to start out with pointing out that I look at ritual clothing the same way I look at any other magical or ritual tools, meaning that it's a tool. Ritual clothing is a tool. Just as our athame is a tool to focus our intention on cutting circle, ritual clothing is a tool for our mind to recognize that a transition is taking place. Now, whether you decide to go out and buy a robe or a cloak or a dress or a specific ritual clothing, whether you do that or whether you take something out of the drawer that you already have, I believe it's important to set it aside, that particular item of clothing or items of clothing, to set it aside only for magical practice. And the reason I find that this is important and how I teach my students is it gives your mind a cue that as I put on this particular robe, I know that something is about to occur, and it allows our minds to go into a different state of awareness, from the mundane into a more magical and ritualistic state of awareness. I also feel that if we don't do this, if we just come home from work and say, oh, it's a full moon, gotta do ritual, and we just move right into ritual without changing our clothing or putting something else on, then it will be a little more difficult for our mind to transition from work to magical. And you will, I feel, and I have experienced, a more difficult time getting into that frame of mind to be able to practice magic, whether it's a spell casting I'm doing or whether it's just a ritual to honor a specific lunar phase or a sabbat. And if I put aside a specific outfit or item of clothing, when I come home and I'm getting ready, setting up for ritual, and I put on this cloak or I put on this dress, my mind and my consciousness is going, oh yes, something magical is about to occur. Now, I'm not saying that it has to be a specific robe that I spent hundreds of dollars on or a cloak that I spent $60 on. You can go into your closet or your dresser and take out a t-shirt, a pair of jeans, and say, from this point forward, I am only going to wear these when I do ritual or when I practice magic. And don't wear them at any other time except for magical or ritual purposes. For example, my husband, when we were in Salem a few years ago, he purchased a t-shirt. And he declared that this was going to be his magical t-shirt. And whenever we did ritual or did magic or meditation or whatever we were going to do within the ideal of magical practice, that was the only time he was going to wear that t-shirt. There was a time that our coven had robes. Now we're sort of in a transition phase. And now I have a specific skirt and shirt that I wear that is just for magical practice. Whether it's I'm going to a pagan pride thing and I'm doing readings, or whether it's an actual ritual, when I put this shirt and skirt on, I know that I am doing something that is sacred and magical. So the easy answer to your question is it okay to wear t-shirt, jeans, and sneakers in ritual? Yes, it's okay. But I would suggest that it is a piece of clothing, or maybe just the t-shirt is the magical piece of clothing. That there is something that is reserved for just sacred purposes. If you are going to wear a t-shirt or mundane clothes, items that aren't necessarily crafted for a specific ritual like robes or cloaks, then be sure that it's comfortable. Be sure that whatever you choose for your ritual clothing is comfortable. It's not too form-fitting. If it is form-fitting, you still are able to move in all different ways, because if you're doing meditation or if you're doing a dance or if you're moving in a different way, you don't want to feel restricted. You want to make sure it's free from any distracting words or images. There are a lot of t-shirts out there that may say, you know, obscene words or swear words or have graphic images. You don't want anything that's too distracting for yourself. And if you're working with others, you don't want other people in your circle focused on what it is that it says, so that they're so distracted by what the intention of your celebration or your ritual is. You want to make sure that you are all in one frame of mind and not being distracted by what your t-shirt may say. I do suggest for items of clothing that you don't wear any hats unless you're sort of wearing a cloak yourself with a hood to sort of focus on what's at hand. Shoes, generally we don't wear shoes during ritual unless it's cold outside or unless the ground is wet. Generally, my feeling is barefoot is best, so that you can physically touch the earth with your skin, and it's easier for you to manipulate the energy instead of having to go through the soles of shoes. If I do wear shoes because we're somewhere that isn't outside in my backyard but somewhere else, I'll wear like a flip-flop or something that isn't as constricting as a sneaker. But if you feel you need to wear sneakers for some other issue, then definitely wear sneakers. Again, putting that clothing aside for the transition, I think, is important. And it being the tool of shifting of consciousness. It helps you understand that I'm taking off the clothes of the day and I'm putting on the clothes for ritual, whether it's a robe or a cloak or something. I'm putting something on to help with that transition. Hopefully this answered all the questions about ritual clothing that you may have. If not, and you have another question, or you have comments or your own personal insights, please leave it here in the comment section of this video or send me a message. I'm always eager to hear from my viewers, subscribers. And as always, I love you. Mwah.